take your pictures. The roof you are not allowed to go over, nor the chairs to sit on. What you're seeing here today is a mansion that was once dominated by a vast sugarcane plantation, which was 6,600 acres with over 2,000 slaves working on it. This house was started in 1750 by George Ash, a wealthy English planter who named it after his wife Rose, hence the name Rose Hall. George Ash died 2 years later and was remarried 3 other times. It was her last husband, the Honorable John Palmer, who completed this house in 1770 to 1780. After John and Rose Palmer died, they had no children. This house then built on to his grandnephew, John Rose Palmer, who later met and married Annie Mae Patterson in 1820. She then became the second and the last mistress, so-called the White Witch of Rose Hall. This house was owned by the British government, then sold to 3 separate families. The Jarretts and the Barretts bought it to work the sugarcane plantation, while the Hendersons bought it to live in 1905. Their maid was upstairs cleaning when she fell from Annie's balcony, broke her neck and died. Now the Hendersons, they believed this place was haunted, so they stripped this house of all its woodwork and furniture, then moved to Kingston where they built a house called the Braemar. Today this house is privately owned by an American couple, Michelle and the late John Rawlings of Wilmington, Delaware. They bought this house in 1965 and it restored 1966 through 1971, spending a total of 2.5 million US dollars, which they did not disclose their buying price. Throughout this house, the woodwork, they are made from Jamaican mahogany. The furniture, they are of genuine 17th, 18th, and early 19th century pieces. You will notice fabric on the walls. They're of silk. They change 5 to 10 years because of the humidity here in Jamaica. The house itself was much bigger, had 2 extensions on it, an east wing and a west wing. They were both 2 stories, had covered walkways that were connected to this house. The entire house, along with the 2 wings, were called a calendar house because we had carried 365 windows, 52 doors, and 12 bedrooms, signifying 365 days of the year, 52 weeks, and 12 months. When the Rawlings bought the house, the wings were badly damaged. They had was to tear them down. The wings were made from wood and brick, while the structures of this house, it is made from limestone. And now here in the ballroom, this is where the farmers, they socialized with their wealthy friends. They would dance 17th and 18th century chamber music. The rooms were enhanced with candlelight, as back then there were no electricity. Today, all lighting systems are converted into electricity. Chandelier above, 18th century piece. It is made from French gold doré. Here to ask any questions? Are all clear? All clear? From here to the library.
Whoa. Whoa, yes man. On a palm chair.
Alright, now this part of the room is the library, once the most frequently occupied room in this house, where all business discussions were held. Portrait on the wall original, it is of Rose, first and good mistress, who Rose Hall was named after. Why she is considered to be the good mistress? Because she had 4 husbands, all of whom died naturally. Unlike Annie, who murdered all 3 of hers. We have no portraits of Annie. As the night she died, the slaves, they burned all her personal belongings, so they did not like Annie for her cruelty. Here is a 1765 century mahogany cane chair. When unfolded, it becomes a library step. This was used to reach high shelves for books and records. As the average height of the people back then, they were 5 feet 2 inches tall. There were short people back in those days. Still are. So from here you can go to the Crofts main dining room.
Alright. Annie Palmer, the White Witch of Roselle.